Let's just start it off with a good joke then.
I got jokes about
What the farmer say when he lost his tractor?
oh shit.
Where's my tractor? Fuck. What did Batman say to Robin when he got in the Batmobile? Robin, get in the Batmobile.
Brilliant. These are so good.
Go ahead and save that one for later.
Yeah. That one.
Tell your wife that one. See if she laughs at that. I already know she's not going
Definitely
to,
will
but
not happen.
right. You can text me, tell me about it. I'll laugh.
Drinking coffee at 7:30 at night. I got no idea why. You good? We're just gonna fucking wing it. Free flow.
Wooka wooka.
All right, guys, welcome back to Jerk Block Talk. I'm Jason Fernandez here with Cassidy Belinsky today. We're here at CrossFit Rife, and this video is by request. And this is a topic that makes you want to slap people, like either another coach or an athlete. It's kind of one of these things where like it is very likely happen to you at some point if you're a coach, and the issue is how do you go about handling that? And so. Kind of throw it out there, but it's one of these. This is like a really sensitive topic, and what we're going to talk about today is what do you do? And there's a couple of different scenarios that this plays out in. But what do you do when you're coaching a class and you're on the floor, and either another athlete or another coach that's on your staff starts coaching another athlete? So you're in charge, and then they start chiming in with their thoughts. And if you've ever been in that scenario, you literally just want to choke somebody to death. So we actually have like protocols for that here, like that. It's delineated, it's non-negotiable, and I'll let Cassidy talk about that because we have not had a problem with this in years. It's been a while. So, but I'll let Cassidy kind of talk about like how we handle that in our classroom settings.
Okay, so just like Jason was saying, you're coaching, or if I'm the coach, Jason happens to just be participating in the class, and I'm coaching Johnny and Billy over here, and he is over here doing like a little one-on-one mini session with Susan because she asked real quick, like, hey, Jason, what should I do with this? Because, you know, he being the all-great coach in the gym, what I would hope Jason would do, being a participant in my class, would refer her to me or refer whoever to me, because what Jason's unintentionally doing is taking the coaching authority away from me. I know it'd be good intention, you know, he's trying to help me out, trying to let me focus on person 1, 2, 3 over here, so, you know, he can spend a little bit of extra time with person over there, but it's unintentionally taking away my voice of the class. If Johnny, Billy over here see Jason doing that here, then they'll be like, oh, okay, well then I can just go to Jason whenever I want to, or rather than talk to me when I'm coaching and I'm trying to run the class, it's, okay, well, who else is here to help me? Or I don't want to get help from Cassidy, I want to get help from whoever the other coach is. You know, like everybody has their favorite coach, everybody has the person they like to get their knowledge from most, but you're hopefully, without meaning to, just kind of taking away my ability to coach or what I'm saying to be, you know, what we all want to go by. You know, we could be running different programs. I could want the stimulus to be here or, you know, one thing or the other, and Jason could, you know, in the back of his head want it to be something different. So now you have this person doing something completely different without even meaning to like really disrupt. And 99 times out of 100, it's always going to be good intention, but it just kind of has that, it just has that bad spiral effect.
There's consequences that come with those good intentions. And so there's kind of two scenarios where this plays out, right? So one is Cassie and I both are on the same staff together, and I'm a coach, so I do kind of have some authority to coach, but it's not my class, right? The other scenario is I'm a member who, you know, and this is a very frequent thing, who has a level 1, right? So they've been to a course, they might even have a level 2, they just don't coach. But you're talking about somebody who has some knowledge of what's going on. So those are kind of the two scenarios that you would see in an affiliate setting. So our protocol here at CrossFit Rife is this. The coach who's coaching that class owns the floor. So me as the owner, head coach, if I'm taking Cassidy's class, if Cassidy's teaching the class, I say nothing. It does, I mean, unless it is like, unless I'm observing something that's going to be like a safety issue or like somebody's going to get hurt, I do not intervene at any point whatsoever with Cassidy's class. And then what he was talking about earlier, if somebody comes to me, and that does happen in a lot of our classes, so a member will come to me and say, hey, you know, I want, can you tell me what I should be on the bar? I will 100% every time say, go talk to Cassidy. He's got the class. He's going to tell you exactly what to do. So instead of undercutting Cassidy unintentionally, when I probably could tell the person the answer, I'm now going to give him some legitimacy by saying, like, no, like, you can ask Cassidy. Cassidy knows what he's doing. He will take care of you. So that's how we handle it here. Coaches do not intervene in another coach's class ever, unless asked. Unless you're just like, hey, dude, do you mind chiming in on this? Like, I need some help. It's a big class or something like that. Then we'll chime in. But even the coaches here do not intervene. It's just you are really, really undermining the person who's in charge in that scenario and taking away their legitimacy, their authority in the classroom. And even if you do it with good intentions, it's still a bad deal for that coach. Because then what Cassidy was talking about earlier, like, you know, now once Cassidy sees me go to a different coach who's not coaching the class, then somebody else wants to do it, and then somebody else wants to do it. Now nobody's fucking paying attention to the coaches on the floor, and now you have somebody who has no respect whatsoever as a professional, and that becomes a really, really big problem. So that's the way we do it. Like, if you're not the coach, our coaches who are on the floor, they own the facility, right? So like, they own the floor space. Like, Cassidy can tell me to go wherever I want. Like, he is running the class. He owns everything about the class, where he wants everything, who's doing what, when, and how. Whoever has it, it's theirs for 60 minutes. They're in charge, and everybody knows that. So we have had some quarrels in the past, and we squashed it real quick, and that is the rule.
Let's go to that. So that was if you just cover, like, if a coach were to kind of interject. Let's go to the other side of it if you have an athlete interjecting. So I think every gym's had this. I know we've had it as an issue before. Not a huge issue, but at least what I always did was, if I had, you know, Johnny helping Billy again, those two guys are always messing off. If I saw one of them helping someone else, you know, it's always good intention, just pulling them to the side. If it's a big deal during class, you know, you might just be like, hey, real quick, stop, refer everything to me, clear that up at the beginning of the class. If it's like a big issue keeps happening, that might be something you need to pull them aside after a class, in between classes, you know, before they head out. Like, hey, let me talk to you real quick. I'd really appreciate it if you didn't do that. You know, explain to them exactly kind of what we covered with, you know, taking the focus off of me, what I'm saying, unintentionally, you know, just pulling focus away from me, or quote unquote, you know, my authority in the class of what I'm actually doing. And it can usually just be squashed just with a simple, hey, please don't do that. And okay, my bad, you know, I meant to do this. No, I know you meant well by it, but, you know, I just really appreciate it if you did.
Most people have no idea they're actually doing that. Like, they have no idea what the result of what they're doing is until you bring it up. And then, you know, anybody that I've ever had a conversation with about that, they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. I'm super sorry. I won't do that anymore. So a lot of you who are trying to figure out how to address the scenario, I don't think it's going to be this fist fight that you think it's going to be. Like, you just need to address it head on and let them know, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Let me do all the coaching. If somebody has a question, just push them to me. I'll take care of it. And then if you want to, like Cassidy said, afterwards, pull them aside and tell them the why. You know, I think most of your members will respect that. Like, it's never been a problem for us when we've addressed it. And like I said, we have not had an issue in a really long time.
It's been years.
Yeah, it's been a long time, you know, but we started with the staff first. Like, we set those guidelines, everybody understood how that worked, and we don't deviate from that.
Clients are going to mimic whatever your coaches do. So if you let your coaches kind of run around and throw their 2 cents in here or there, then you know, your clients are going to think, hey, I can do that too because so-and-so did it. So you always want to set the guideline. Whatever you do, hopefully monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
If Jason, again, being head coach owner here, if he's listening to what I say, doing, what I tell him to do, going where I tell him to go, everybody's going to be like, okay, well, Jason's going to do it, then I'm going to do it too. So it just has a waterfall effect for greatness on that one.
And it works both ways, right? So like if you're the one in charge, like you should be, you should be authoritative about that. Like if that's happening, go ahead and stop it. Go ahead and be like, whatever. The flip side of that is like if you're the coach in the class, like you need to be, if you're the athlete who's a coach in the class, like you need to be cognizant of that too. And what I would tell you, what would maybe be even more beneficial is like if somebody comes to you with a question, I would, to some extent, like almost make like let other people see you refer that question to the coach, so that doesn't happen anymore. Like when I do that, as the owner of the gym, when I refer a question to the other coaches, everybody in the gym sees that, and now they're just like, got it, understood. This person knows what's supposed to happen, and now I trust them a little bit more. So it doesn't have to be like this super secret thing. Like if somebody has to be like, I literally just be like, I'm just working out, bro. Like go ask Cassidy. Like I'm not here to coach right now. Like I'm here to throw down with you. He's going to tell you exactly what to do, so go ask him the question. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like you're not doing the client a disservice. And again, like just have the conversation. Like tell everybody what you're doing. Like afterwards, be like, hey man, like I did not want to answer your question, but that's just the way we roll here because we want all of our coaches to have that professional reputation to know what the hell's going on. Like, so I always like to think of things in worst case scenario. Like imagine it's somebody's first day or they're a drop in and they see that interaction. Now what? Like they see you undermining the coach unintentionally in the class. Now what? They leave your gym and then what do they say?
Coaches don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. And you probably do. You just made a very innocent mistake, and now the person was like, yeah, the guy in the class, they might not even know you're a coach there. Like, that's the other thing. Like, nobody wears a uniform here. So, like, it's, unless you have, like, and some coaches do have, like, uniforms or whatever, but, like, again, there's a lot of unintentional consequences that could come out of that very, innocent interaction between somebody that, might be bad. Like, and that's just not the stuff that you want. So, first, I would tell you, like, have that conversation with your staff. Like, that should just not happen. You just don't intervene, whatever. Defer always to the person who's running the class. And then if it's the other side, if it's the athletes, that's a question. And if it did turn into something where it was like, it did happen to turn into a quarrel of some sort where, like, it got a little heated, that should never happen on the floor. Just let it go right there and then talk about it afterwards. But, if you could not get this person to understand you, like, you could always resort to, like, it's a legal issue. That person is not employed by you to train people. So therefore, they should not be doing that. I don't care what they know. They're not there as a trainer. They're not on your training staff. They're not part of your affiliate. And you could pitch it that way. I would tell you that's probably last resort. Like, you don't necessarily want to go there. But and if it's one of those things where, like, it's happening in a Metcon, like, there's some different spots where you could do that kind of subtly. Like, today would be a perfect example. So we had 1 minute double unders, kettlebell swings, and then burpees, and then a minute rest. Like, that 1 minute rest is where I can have a real quick conversation with Johnny or Bobby who's chiming in and just like, hey dude, like, do me a favor, don't coach him. You worry about you, let me worry about the athletes, and then it's a problem solved. They'll be like, roger that, check that. Like, and arguably, if somebody's like, got time to coach in the middle of a workout, like,
I'm gonna go harder.
Yeah, like, they clearly don't understand what should be happening at that point. So, which at that point you could explain that to them. You just be like, hey, listen, dude, you shouldn't be giving people advice because if you have enough time to coach people in the middle of a workout, like, you don't understand what's supposed to be happening. But yeah, I saw that was a good topic. We got that question today, and I was like, yeah, that's a legit scenario that happens in affiliates all over the place. But again, think about those unintentional consequences of doing that, because it's important, right? It's important, as for you as a staff and your reputation as a staff. Like, you want your team to be professionals, so you guys should act like professionals. Like, people shouldn't be chiming in on other people's classes and doing all that stuff. Like, it's not your class. Let that person handle it and just shut up and work out. Like, not enough people do that, in my opinion, sometimes. Like, just be an athlete, man. Like, you don't have to be a coach all the time. Like, just be an athlete, throw it down with everybody, and let the coach handle it. And if it's something that needs to be addressed, like, just address it afterwards. Like, it doesn't need to be addressed right there. Again, unless it's a safety issue. If somebody's deadlifting like this, then maybe, like, or maybe just be like, look at that, that's bad. So anyway, I hope that helps. Again, that's how we handle it. We kind of have some hard guidelines there. But if you have questions about that stuff, please let us know. Again, there is there's like no limit to the number of scenarios that pop up on a daily basis
always
in
something
scenario in an affiliate. So, and at this point, we've had most of them. So we can help you guys help you guys out with that stuff. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like this stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Adios.